are at Shelters by Jesus podcast, and we are so excited that you're with us, you're watching, you're listening, you're hitting subscribe, you're hitting like, you're sharing with your friends, because that brings money in. And if you want to help get people off the street, you go to sheltersbyjesus.com. If you'd like to give, it's $9. We'll get somebody off the street. We also have 4 books out written by the dumb hick from Skowhegan, me. And they have 2 prices, $10 are free. And you put your name and address right there and tell if you want books 1, 2, 3, or 4, all of them, we'll mail them right out to you. You also can call the office at 207-474-8833 and give them your name and address there, and they'll ship it. But the other thing you can do is get a tour. When you call that number, say, I'd like a tour, and you'll meet the residents. You'll see everything we have. And we're just excited about you being a part of this. So now, on to the podcast. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, man, we got another special guest. She's been on a couple of times already, but stuff is going on in her life. It's Brandy. We said before she's battling cancer, and but she has an attitude like you just can't believe. This girl is usually at wall-to-wall smiles. She's such an inspiration to us all.
Is her mic on?
Yes, it's on. And I wanted to come on because she had an awesome experience that she's so proud about. And we're following people along, and her we would definitely follow. So, Brandy, tell us what just happened with you last week.
So I took a trip down to see my son graduate 8th grade.
Aha!
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, more than just visiting you, there's more to the story than that.
Yeah, so he graduated with really good grades. So we got him a truck.
Yes.
So he's going to be tinkering on that over the summer.
Yeah, now it's not a 2023, but an 8th grader don't need a 2023. So do you know what kind of truck you got?
Yes. So it's a 2001 Dodge, just a Dodge Ram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, I thought he was graduating high school, so.
No. Well, he looks like it.
Wow, you said he's 9 feet tall, right? Yeah.
6'2".
6'2". Holy crap!
And Mama's like 3 feet tall.
Wow. Yeah, hold this up so they can see it. He'll get a close-up. Can you get a close-up of that? Yeah. We got it.
That's Mama and son.
That's Mama and an 8th grade boy. Yeah. So she's a proud mama. And what's amazing, why we think so much of Brandy is, even with her cancer, you have a job.
Yes.
And what are you doing right now?
Well, so normally I work ironworking with the union.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm taking a break from that. It was a little too hard physically. So I'm just paying my dues, and then I'll go to school to complete my apprenticeship. But for a job, I just got a manager position over the maintenance and sanitation department. We got the contract at Sappy.
That's pretty cool.
Sappy Mill. So I'm in charge of 5 buildings and 7 outbuildings and 5 employees already.
As you're watching this, if you knew this girl, you'd be as proud as we are. It's Seth's behind the camera, and we're both just beaming because we're like proud papas with this girl and what she does. And I tell you, if she's your daughter, your granddaughter, you'd be proud too. And that's how we see Brandy. So where's your, do you mind talking about where your cancer is at right now? I'm sure people have been following you along would like to know how you're doing.
So my cancer has gotten worse. I'm macetized, so I'm in the spleen, bottoms of my lungs, and it went into my reproductive system. So ovaries, fallopian tubes, and uterus.
So it's been spreading around.
Yeah.
And as you're hearing this, I want you to understand, this little girl, even when she's in pain, she gets up and goes to work. Now, you want to poo-poo the homeless. She's homeless, but she's staying here so she can send all her money. Where's your money go?
to Aiden.
To Aiden, that's her son.
Either send it to him or I'm saving it up so that he can have something. You know, my ability to be around is not as frequent as I'd like, but at least I can work and leave him something, you know?
Yeah.
You're doing more than most people.
Seth, come on in and say what you think about this girl. I think that would be nice. You guys have seen Seth on here before. Seth Roberts, he's the chief of staff here, and he's here every day with Brandy. And
I am, yeah. So you guys got to know Brandy, you know, and it's not my place to share, but she's been through a lot. And when she came here, she went through a lot. She had some adjusting to do and some trust to build with people and things like that. But the one thing she never ever stopped doing, and this is why I'm so proud of her, you do more than most dads. You work and you support your son, and that is everything to you, and that's so inspiring to the rest of us. But you have my respect, you know that, and you've done so much work around here and taking care of your son. I just wish more people were like you.
amen. Thanks for sharing that, Seth. I just
I'm not crying, you're crying.
now, honey, you got every reason to cry. I've started book number 6. Book number 5 is getting ready to go into production. We haven't got it there yet, but they've asked me to start 6, and Brandy is in book 6. And one of the things I say in there, because of her condition, unless God does a miracle, there's a chance she might not be here to see the book when it's published, and that's a sad thing. And but it's something her son will see. But we're praying that she's here long after the book is published. We're praying she's here long after her son graduates. And we ask God every single day to please heal of her cancer and spare her, because she is one special young lady, and she has hair now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because I'm done with the chemo. They put me through 8 rounds and did nothing but damage me. I got neuropathy, my toenails turned black and fell out, and got a lot of damage to my heart from the rituximab. And so I was getting the R-CHOP, which is what they call the red devil. Like, it literally glows red in the bag. And a lot of those drugs are cardiotoxic. And just...
I don't even know half the words you're using. So
She's saying a lot of those drugs are bad for your heart.
Yeah.
Well, most of them they're putting in is poison to kill cancer, right?
Well, they give you cancer if you don't already have it.
Well, that's a plus. I mean,
so I'm doing some immunotherapies. I'm going for the phototherapy because I have 2 cancers, and the other one, they're both non-Hodgkin's T cell. So I have the non-Hodgkin's T cell lymphoblastic leukemia, but I also have the non-Hodgkin's T cell cutaneous lymphoma.
okay. I don't have a clue. It just doesn't sound good.
It's not, but I'm going for phototherapy, which is just like full spectrum lights. And
now, are they giving you a chance that the treatments they're using now could be effective on you?
No, it's maintenance.
Okay. So what they're trying to do is keep you...
manage expectations and maintenance, and provide as much quality of life as possible. They want me to continue with the chemo, but I'm done with it. And there is a therapy called CAR T therapy, which I'm going to do after the end of the summer. I'm going to give myself a nice summer, and then I'll do it. Comes with a lot of risk, but if it works, it's shown to have really good results, like putting patients who didn't achieve remission with standard
really?
treatment.
So it has had success in the past.
It has, but there's risk to it. So they take the T cells, they filter my blood out, take the T cells from my blood, and then put my blood back. And then they take all my T cells to a lab, and over like 3 weeks, they genetically modify them and change them, give them back to me. And the way that they change them is they seek out the lymphocytes and they stop the duplication. So what's happening is they're multiplying and multiplying and multiplying and not, so just,
It's just spreading.
yeah. And so they stop the replication
So
code.
can they not only stop it, but retard it?
Yeah, so it like codes your DNA basically to stop it. But the thing, there's risk that it will go after live tissue. And there's also a condition that happens in a small percentage of patients, which I don't remember what it's called, but they get it as a complication and die from it typically. So I would also be in the hospital for like a minimum of 3 weeks after. And if I leave, I'd have to be within 20 miles of the hospital and with like hospice, like a designated person to care for me 24/7.
Until you get back on your feet.
Just to make sure I'm not getting infections and, because
this kills your immune system, in other words.
Well, I don't have an immune system mostly because I'm on like 60 milligrams of prednisone a day as well as methotrexate because I have I have rheumatoid arthritis and then I have ankylosing spondylitis in my spine, which made it so that I can't get the stem cell or the spinal fluid transplant now.
Wow.
And that was going to be a big help. So that was a hard punch. But, it's every single moment was given to me anyway. So I can't lament over feeling like I'm not getting as many as I should. Because everything I have, God gave me, and I got it. So there's something to be said for like being in the midst of really profound suffering and doing it well and not letting it get to your soul, so you can still stand in front of God in prayer and so.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're one special lady, and as you're watching this, I hope you understand why I get so wound up when folks like Brandy are called those kind of people. Because those people that label them do not have a clue who these people are. They label them, they take a brush and they just paint all homeless people as the same.
Well, and I wasn't going to be able, because I was working up until I got my diagnosis. I thought I had a swollen tonsil. My tonsil was in the middle of the throat, and I went to the hospital thinking I was going to need an emergency removal.
Yeah.
And the nurse got me in there and was checking out my throat with her light. She goes, I don't know exactly what to tell you, but that is a perfectly healthy tonsil. I need to send you for some imaging. And it was like 3 days later, because they took a biopsy. And
they discovered the cancer.
And then they did they drilled into my hip bone. And my initial diagnosis was as bad as it is now. But without it being everywhere that it is, it's progressed, it's spreading.
And right now, your son, though, is being cared for by his grandparents.
Yeah, so his dad passed away from cancer 4 years ago, too. So this is... that's what the grief is for him. But we're just trying... So he knows about my condition. I didn't want to break it to him, the severity, over his graduation. But
I understand that, kid.
I'm going to have him for 2 weeks at the end of the summer.
Oh, you are?
And after I've had him
so we're going to get a chance to bring him on here and let people meet him?
I don't know. I'm kind of... maybe.
Okay, well, you think about it. Because I know, but I'm sure the folks that are watching this would love to see your son.
He's also very introverted and stoic, so he wouldn't say much.
You might be surprised.
You would. He doesn't. He's he's stoic. Yes, and just well spoken, but a few words.
Well, he's got to be pretty well spoken if he's carrying the grades he's carrying. So
Yeah.
it sounds like your son is a very intelligent young man.
He's smarter than me, so that's all.
Well, his
very
mama is no
far.
dummy. We're all proud of you. The stuff you do is incredible. You got super talent. You're a builder too, not just a welder, but you do building too, right?
Structural, bridge, ornamental welding, and the aspect of ironwork.
Now, what is ornamental welding? Because I don't know.
Oh, so ornamental is, so you have structural.
Structural is just you weld it, right?
Sorry, no. Welding is a whole separate thing. Welding is what it is.
Welding is what it
But
is.
structural is a type of ironwork. So it's, like erecting hospitals or.
Okay, so it's not just putting two things together and putting some stuff in the middle.
No. So I weld sometimes, but it's a small aspect of ironworking.
Okay.
Just like maybe the way that doing the floor of aspect of building a house is just one part of the whole job.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like how welding is. And
well, anybody watching this, if they see how tiny you are, you do. The first time I met you, and they're going, "She's an iron worker and a welder," and I'm going, "She's too tiny."
I know.
But you're a beast.
I have the mental fortitude of 20 good men, and I just submit myself to that, and I'm capable of anything I want.
Yeah, when you're on the job, you don't let men make you look bad, do you?
No.
No, baby.
It's funny when they try.
Well, I'll tell you, it'd be awful hard for a guy my size to see someone your size whipping my butt on a job, but I got a funny feeling that I'd probably cry an uncle at the end of the day if I had to stick with you.
I make it my priority to outperform.
And what I know of you, I can believe you can pull it off, girl. I do. Well, I want to say thanks for coming on and sharing. The stuff you shared is tough to share.
Yeah.
I know that, but I want folks to get to know some folks that are homeless, not because they're bad people or even done bad things. It's just life kicks them in the teeth.
Yeah.
And that does happen.
And I wasn't going to be able to get housing or anything
Yep.
because I had all my insurance and I had been working all that time. So they messed me around on getting any kind of aid or disability.
So here you are with us. But you know what?
I'm glad.
We've been honored to have you here with us. And
I get my own room.
You get your own room, and we're praying that you're in that room a long, long time, kid, because you are definitely, of all the people going through here in 15 years, you're one of the most special I've ever had the privilege of knowing. And your son can be super proud of mommy, I'll tell you right now, because he's got mommy and daddy all wrapped up in one. I'm sorry he lost his dad to cancer, and I pray that by the grace of God, he doesn't lose his mama to cancer too. But thank God for the grandparents that they've been very good to him, right? They've taken good care of him.
I just want him to know that I love him and that he was the whole reason that I could get through everything that I got through, and the continuous reason why I put up with things. Because if it wasn't for him, I would probably already be in the ground.
Well, one day hopefully he'll see this podcast and he'll say, "That's my mama, and I'm proud of my mama."
The way when I had him, my thought was that he was like God's way of saying sorry for what I'd gone through in my life, in my childhood, and I felt like he made it all better.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if a son could be more excited to hear his mom talk about him in those terms. And so I hope you that are watching, I hope you appreciate what this young lady has done and who this young lady is. And before you allow people to come to you and knock the homeless, please look them in the eye and say, do you know the people that you're putting down? Do you know their story? Because I've been watching podcasts, And I've seen some residents at Shelters by Jesus that are pretty special people. And this is probably one of the most special people you would ever have the privilege of meeting. So with that in mind, until the next time, in the next podcast, you all come back now here.